Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Lena and welcome back to another video. So today I have for you my October wrap-up. I read a total of 14 books. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I wanted to put these stats on, but I didn't cover my spreadsheet this month. So yeah. But yeah, I read a total of 14 books, so let's just get started. I will try to make this brief. The first book that I read this month was My Best Friend's Exorcism by Gayatri Hendricks, and I loved it. I loved this one so much. Just to get it out of the way, I gave this one 5 stars because it's fantastic. It's just so good. Oh, I loved it. It's just going to be here with Southern Book Club Guide. I think Gayatri Hendricks is going to become one of my favorite authors. It just blows my mind. I loved it. I loved it. There's nothing like really revolutionary about this one, but it just felt right. You know, it's just so good. There's a great relationship between the two main characters of this story. It's just so pure and so cute. And it's fantastic. It's also a great portrait of kind of believable teenagers, which I really enjoyed. I don't know why, but in his books, there's always like this kind of super disgusting scene, and I'm just like, why would you do this to me? But yeah, in this one, we have, again, one of those, like the cockroach here, but yeah, disgusting. There's also this thing about how parents always think what they do is their best for their children, never listening to the actual children, which is something that I think teenagers struggle with. So yeah, it was a great representation overall, even though it's kind of a book about a demonic possession. But overall, it was fantastic. We basically follow these two friends. One of them is kind of starting acting weird after they went into this lake. So yeah, I mean, the title says it all, but I would highly recommend you check out this one. It's a great kind of Halloween story. It's just so good. It kind of hits you in the feels sometimes. It's just super good. So then I read A King God by Mike Shell. This is a self-published book, and even though it didn't quite meet my expectations, I thoroughly enjoyed it overall. The world is really dark, but it's not as dark as I was hoping for. I don't know if you get what I mean. But yeah, I was just hoping something like in what's the book called? Blackwind? Yeah, Blackwind. I was hoping something like that where there's monsters everywhere. But actually, even though they go to this place called Virulence, they are not that scary. So I was a little bit confused. It's actually a pretty self-contained story, so if you just want to read this one, you're good to go. You don't have to continue with the series. But oh, there's one scene. It reminded me so much of Alien. More of Prometheus than Alien, and Alien vs Predator, when they're going into these ancient ruins and the alien is just there and the kind of the alien hands are just there. It has a similar scene, but instead of the aliens are in the alien, I don't remember the name of the you know, that I don't really remember the name of that, but yeah, it gave me such a similar vibe to it. I also really enjoyed that it was really fast paced, especially the beginning. In the middle it dragged for a bit, but the beginning was just like straight to action. We follow Yurik as he gets called into this town because his daughter is actually sick with a new disease that no one knows where it came from. They suspect that it came from this vessel, and they have to take it back to this really creepy temple. And yeah, that's basically the main storyline. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, so I will continue with this series. It's just like more of a 3.75 than a complete 4 star, but it was overall really good. Also, before I forget, Oryx is a great likable main character. He's kind of this honorable man, and he also suffers from PTSD, which is really nice to see like a real thing in fantasy books. He's just consumed with what happened the last time he went to the Barrowlands, and he gets nightmares. He is frozen with fear, and it's just kind of refreshing to see. Then let's go with Confessions by Kanai Minato. I like this one so much, especially the way that it's told. So let me explain a bit what this book is about. We basically follow this teacher, and she discovers that two of her students actually kill her daughter. So that's the basic premise. So the book is actually divided into 5 different sections. The first one, the narration is from the perspective of the teacher. The second one is from the class president. The third one is from the mother of one of the killers. The fourth one is from one of the killers. And the fifth one is from like the supposed mastermind of the murder. It was so well done. I was kind of impressed about how we kind of figure everything out, because even though we already know, we kind of know what happened. It's just like so, and there's so many perspectives, and it makes you think about how in every crime there's not just one thing that has happened, but many different POVs. Especially the one from the mother of the killer was pretty tough to read. I don't know, it's just like, you know, my boy will never do something like this. And it was kind of harsh, but the end, oh my god, payback is a bitch. I love the ending. It was just top notch. But yeah, I don't want to tell you much because, again, it's super short. So yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would highly recommend to everyone. It's kind of a really calm thriller, so super highly recommend this one. I cannot wait to actually get to more of these authors' novels. So now let's talk about The Devil in the Dark Water by Stuart Terton. First thing, it didn't meet my expectations. I had extremely high expectations for this one because I love the 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. It's just my thing. I love kind of thrillers with sci-fi twist to it. I love it. I love it so much. And this I need. This is kind of a more traditional mystery novel, kind of this impossible mystery that no one can solve. I liked it, don't get me wrong, but I was expecting something in that line, so I was a bit underwhelmed by the ending, but it was still fantastic. By the way, look at this gorgeous edition that I have. I love it. So we basically follow a bunch of different characters that get into this boat that is going to get into this new city. Something really weird starts happening, some of the crew members are missing, a murder happened and no one knows how it really happened, how it could be possible. Yeah, it kind of reminds me a bit of like Sherlock Holmes, when you have like this thing that you believe supernatural, but in the end it has like this crazy explanation. And it was overall good. I think that it dragged a little bit on the middle, but overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it. At the beginning was extremely suspenseful, and I loved it. The characters, oh man, this guy has a way with characters. I love them. You can picture them perfectly, and they have like really clear, straight motivations, which is something that I really enjoyed. I really wanted more from Samuel, but it made sense. It made sense that we didn't get that much, so correct. Oh, there's one, I'm just going to tell you one scene. There's actually more than one ship. There's, I think it was 3 or 4 total. I'm not 100% sure, but there's this storm, and to find each other, they basically light these lamps at the front of the ship. I have no idea how to say the different parts in a nautical way, but they're super cool because they found every light. They're, oh yeah, we're fine, all of them. And then they found like an extra one, and it's just so creepy and so cool. I thoroughly enjoyed that part. It was just so well done. But yeah, overall like it. If you just like this kind of, as I told you, something like Agatha Christie or Arthur Conan Doyle, you're going to really enjoy this one. I actually think that the people who didn't like The 7 Deaths will most likely really enjoy this one more. Like a ton more probably than that one. And in the other way around, if you didn't love this one as much, I really believe that you will enjoy The 7 Deaths much more. Then, I'm so proud of myself. I finally reread The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. I love this shit. It's just such a well executed series. I loved it. Many people compare this to The Wheel of Time, but I actually believe that it's really similar to the way Sanderson tells his stories, but without being Sanderson. So, you don't like Sanderson, you might really like this. It feels like he really big story in more of a condensed world, but it has so many layers to it. It's just so complex. I love it. I really loved the book the first time I read it, and I think that I even actually enjoyed it more the second time around because it made more sense. Having read the second book, I still need to read the third one when it comes out in this paperback, but it's just fucking great. It has like all the tropes that I like. For example, we have a little bit of time magic, which is something that I don't love, but I really enjoy when done well. Then we have ancient cities, abandoned cities, and we have a man with amnesia. Oh, we have lost powers. It's just, it has a little bit of everything, which I really enjoy because it's really well done. All the parts connect so well, so well. Also, all the main characters are great. Ash is great. Devin is great. It's just, so good, so good. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. In Shadow of What Was Lost, we basically start following Devin. He is about to have this test to prove his magical abilities, basically, and he has to do this because several years ago, the rulers of this kingdom were the ogres, who were just like magical almighty beings that had like this amazing magic system. They were overruled, and now everyone that has magic has to either be branded with this sigil that don't allow them to use magic except in just like really special occasions, or they will basically be stripped from it, and it's just a cruel, really cruel fate that turns you into a shadow. It has so many layers to it. Devin knows that he is not going to pass the exam because his magic doesn't work until he realizes that he actually has the powers of the ogres, this super cool magical race. So yeah, he's basically forced to flee. We have a massacre, then we have Caden, and he's lost memory. He doesn't know how he got there. It's just so cool. It's kind of a travel novel, the first one, so beware of that if you don't like them. But I just loved it. He also has a good enough chunk of political intrigue, which I love. And also the twist at the end. Well, the two twists at the end are fantastic. So well done, so well executed. I love this series. I of course gave it 5 stars, in case you doubt it. So then I went with Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Rowan Forrest. And I have to say that I was really a bit underwhelmed with this one. I again had like extremely high expectations for it, so probably my fault. But the cool thing about this one is that it has like native mythology, which is something super cool, indigenous mythology, I mean. And it's just super cool because it's never explored in almost any media, which is fucking great that this book does. That was my favorite part. But in general, I don't know, it just felt like it didn't bring anything else to the kind of urban fantasy slash somehow post-apocalyptic genre. I don't know, it was just like, okay. The ending didn't really convince me. I don't know why. But in my mind, I pictured like the master of the MC different. So when he showed up, I was just like, what? I don't understand. So yeah, it could be 100% intentional. I don't know, it just didn't click with me in the right way. So, but yeah, the best part of it is the world. And you know what made me just don't love it as much? It has a makeover. I fucking hate makeovers. There's just something about them that is driving me insane lately. When you have like this more masculine girl and she's forced to wear a dress and everyone's just like, oh my god, you look so good now. And she's like, I don't like it, but oh, I do look good. It's just like so stupid to me. I don't know why, but I can't. So yeah, probably my enjoyment was tainted by that a little bit. But yeah, overall, the world was incredible, super mysterious. I can't wait to know more. And I will continue with the series because, as I've told you, the world was just incredible, so I really want to know more. By the way, I gave it 3.5 stars. I almost forget, even though I just saw it. Then to have something a little bit more happy, I read Kings of the Wyld by Nicholas Ames, and I really enjoyed it. I was a little bit hesitant because I'm really picky with humor in books, but I'm so surprised about how much I actually enjoyed it. But yeah, it was actually a pleasant surprise. I really enjoyed it. It's just such a fun adventure. Literally, this book equals fun. If you want like a super kind of dark sometimes humorous story about all guys going back to work in this band that hunts monster and men sometimes, you're going to love this. It's just so well done. The basic premise is that they basically get back together, this whole band, to actually go and find the missing, supposedly maybe kind of dead daughter of one of the former members, and she's actually stuck in this city that is kind of siege with these really creepy creatures by this outside guy. Yeah, it has many things to it. I actually love the fact that we also have magical creatures. I had no idea. I thought that we would only have like monsters and such, and that would be it. But yeah, there's also magical creatures, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know what else to tell you. It reminded me a bit. Have you seen Red? This movie, it had the same tone. Like these old dudes, they are too old for this shit already. They all thought that they wanted back in this world, but they don't. They actually want to go home. It's just really well done. It has super sweet, heart-striking moments that were so cool. And the ending was super good. I love a good speech before a battle, man. I'm just a sucker for that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I cannot wait to jump into Bloody Rose. But yeah, if you want a fun ride, try Kings of the Wyld. You won't regret it. I basically ended up giving this one 4 stars. Super good. Then let's just go with Count on Cornfield by Adam Cesare. I freaking love this book. It was so good. I still think about this book a lot. It just strikes me right there in a way that I wasn't expecting. It's just such a gory, super stupidly fun, creepy horror book. And I adore it. We basically follow this teenager. She just moved into this little small town and she starts to know basically all the cool kids, and they throw a party, and then a killer clown appears, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, the whole book is basically 2 or 3 days. It's just so cool. It's just so cool. I read it in one sitting. I couldn't stop because after, I don't know, 50 pages, you're thrown into this whole chase that is just so well done. You just want to read more. You just want to know more. You just want to know how it ends. And it was super good. As I told you, pure fun. Like Kings of the Wyld. You are just going to eat the shit and be just done and have a fantastic time. It's just great. It actually, again, had like a believable teenagers, because some teenagers are fucking dumb and others are more intelligent. So you have like a good mixture. It was great. It was just so well done. It's perfect for Halloween time. I know this is going to be late and and Halloween will have already passed, but try this one. It's just so good. I overall give it 4 stars because even though I really enjoyed it, if I see it more objectively, it wasn't something groundbreaking for the genre, but it was so fun. So great. This is going to make probably my best books of the year list because I just had like such a good, strong feeling about it. I did it so much. Then I actually finally read An Ember in the Ashes by Sabata here. This is its Spanish edition because my stepsister lent all the books to me, and I'm so surprised by how much I actually enjoyed this series. I already knew that it was good. I've heard so many people that I trust say that it's actually super underrated and it's a fantastic YA series, and I agree. It was actually surprisingly good. It's kind of set on this really Roman-inspired world, and it's super cruel, and I just really enjoyed it. We basically follow 2 main POVs. One of them is Laia, who basically ends up being a part of the resistance because brother was basically captured by the kind of Romans. Let's call them that because I don't remember the name. And at the same time, we're going to follow Elias. He is actually part of this Roman kind of empire, and he's actually been training his whole life to become this super skilled assassin leader. Super cool stuff, okay? They have this mask that adapt to their faces. It's just so cool. I actually expected less magic or none at all for some reason, but there's actually fantastical elements on it, which I thoroughly enjoyed. There's these guys who can see the future, and they are just like super creepy, but they are so cool. And also really weird creatures. I will say the ending was extremely predictable, yeah, but it actually fits the time where this book was published. So many ways series end up like this on that time. As I've told you, overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do find Elias's part the most entertaining, but Elias was also a good enough, interesting character. There are some unnecessary love triangles here and there, but they are not too prominent. The love story here isn't like just pushed through your throat. So, okay, I can cope with that. But yeah, overall I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I will 100% continue with the series. Even though I haven't set it on my TBR, I will read The Torch Against the Night this month. Because I'm still curious and I want to return the books to my sister. Because I'm a nice person. This month I also buddy read 9 Fox Gambit by Jun Hali with Kayla from Kraken to a Good Book. Because Angela keeps raving about the series. It was just like, you know what? I want to read this shit. I will read it. That's it. And oh man, it was so good. It's kind of a more strategical science fiction, but it was so damn well done. I'll warn you, okay? The beginning of this book doesn't make any fucking sense. You'll be so lost. But it pays off. You just have to go with it. You just be like, sure, why not? And once you reach the middle, you'll be just like, oh, it makes sense now. Okay, I actually understand. So yeah, takes time, indeed, but it's just so worth it. Even though it's kind of confusing, it's really, really interesting. And you'll be just like, oh, but how does this work actually? So yeah, you're pretty thrown into the story right away. So basically, in this one, we follow General Charis, and she's tasked with getting back the Fortress of the Nine. What's the name? Not the Nine. The Fortress of Scattered Needles. Basically, from the hands of the heretics, having taken control of it. And for this, she's going to count with the help of General Jedao, which is one of the greatest characters of all time. He's just insane. I fucking loved him. It was just so good, so fucking interesting. Oh my god. He's basically like this super legendary general who has never lost a battle, but he was actually condemned because he killed 2 armies. One of them, his own. So yeah, he might be a little bit cuckoo. But the process of joining these 2 together, I won't explain much because I think it's better that you find out what I'm talking about in the book. Was so fascinating. Oh my fucking god. The ending was fantastic. Extremely interested on the sequel. I actually have already bought it because I cannot wait. I will read it this month also, and the next month I will read the 3rd one. But this was insane. I loved it. I do think that it's too confusing sometimes, so that's why I'm giving it 4 stars and not 5. But oh my god, it has like all the time in the world to become one of my favorite series. I think that it's going to be one. I freaking loved it. There's no many sci-fi as this one, and I'm just so happy that Angela put this on my mind and made me read it because it was so good. If you like more of a strategical sci-fi, you know, planning out battles and taking their sweet time with it, you will love this. If not, it might be too much for you, but I will still highly recommend trying this one. Not if you're newbie to sci-fi, please don't do that to yourself. Then the month went a bit downhill from here. I buddy read Authority with Rachel from Let Me in the Library, and what was it? Authority is the sequel to Annihilation, and it kind of has nothing to do with it. It's kind of after Annihilation, and there's a character that shows up in Annihilation that appears here. But I can't even explain to you anything. I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. I did really enjoy the last, I don't know, 50, 60 pages. In the first 50 pages. But the middle just made no fucking sense to me. There's also a complete disgusting scene with the guy touching the other guy's head. That was so sickening. I can't. The last, as I told you, 50 pages made me bump this one to a 3-star because I did really enjoy the ending. It was really fascinating and really, really cool. But that's it. The rest, nah. If you liked Annihilation, I would just leave it at that. I wouldn't continue with the series. Don't do that to yourself. Will I actually read the last one, Acceptance? Probably. If Rachel wants to continue, I will continue with her. But if not, then that's it. I would just stick with Annihilation. Annihilation was fantastic. It's just like a really mind-blowing book again. But so much better than Authority. What? Then I will not go into much detail with it because this was my reread of The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang, which is part of the realm that I'm co-hosting with a bunch of lovely ladies. And there's the live show where we will discuss this again on the 15th of November. I might be wrong. I freaking love The Dragon Republic. I know there's kind of a more unpopular opinion because many people like the first one better, but I actually love the sequel. I love strategy, as you can see. I love strategy, so I really, really enjoyed this one. And the whole war was just so cool. I just really enjoyed it. Even though it's painful sometimes, it's good pain. It's acceptable pain. And Altan is not here, so fuck Altan, because he's just a piece of shit. Sorry. But yeah, there's so many cool things new in this one. The twin magic and such is just so incredible. But yeah, 5 out of 5 stars. I cannot wait for the Burning God. Check out the live show next week. Then I read a super cozy mystery. This is Death by Dumpling by Vivian Chen. I have owned this for a bit and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's basically about this guy that lives in this plaza where all the inhabitants are Asian, and he basically owns almost the entire plaza, but he one day shows up dead after our main character brings the dumplings to him. So yeah, I just really enjoyed it. It's just a super light, cozy mystery. It's just, you know, a blanket, a rainy day, and you can enjoy the hell out of this one. I gave it 3.5. I won't tell you much about it because I told you it's pretty much a mystery. The main character is fantastic. She's super likable, super easy. I'm super glad to have followed her because she's as I told you, she's so likable, so likable. I just have a note on my kind of notebook that says Ian sus. But yeah, the resolution was actually really satisfying. So I will highly recommend this one if you want a cozy mystery for a Sunday afternoon. The second to last was Empress of Salt and Fortune by, let me see it, Nivo, and oh my goodness, this was a sweet novella. I gave it 4.5. It was just so smart. It's such a smart novella. It's told in such a smart way. I freaking loved it. Now I understand Tammy's obsession with it. It's great. I actually cannot wait for the second one to come out. I think it's coming out on December. I think it might. It was so good. It was so good. We basically have 2 different timelines, one on the present and one on the past. The present one is basically this woman telling her granddaughter this story about the time when she was a kind of, I don't remember the word right now, a assistant for the now deceased Empress. And it's just so damn cool. We follow that story and in the one where she was the assistant, and that ending was so good, so satisfying. The ending was just like yes. I listened to it on almost just one day. I had to stop because I fell asleep with my headphones on. Maybe I just really enjoyed it. I don't know what else to tell you. It's just like so good. It's just like good literature. It's just good. Like good. So yeah, I will probably actually read this one and then just read the sequel because so well done. So much sentiment on such a short book. So well done. I loved it. In the Empress, what a boss lady. Oh my goodness. The last book that I read this month was Babel 17 by, let me check, Samuel Delany. And I only have one note for this book. And it literally says, what happened? I don't know. I don't know. You know when you read something and you understand the words, but combined, they don't make any fucking sense? This, I don't know. And the book actually has a thing with languages and how we communicate and such. And it was super cool, I give you that. But I didn't understand the book at all. I'm just like, am I like fucking stupid? Probably. I'm just definitely too dumb for this book. Yeah, things happen. I think that actually Firefall was easier to understand than this one. So I don't know. This was just like, I'm stupid and that's it. I accept it. I give it 3 stars because it's probably not the book, it's probably me. I'm just like too dumb. But yeah, the only thing that I could connect was that basically this captain and her ship are sent, I think it was Earth? It was Earth or another planet? I don't remember. I think it was Earth. But then they're on another side. I don't remember. And they are all kind of connected. She had like some telepathic power of sorts. I don't understand. I don't. And then they are attacked because they are at war. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. There's some like weird switching around thing. I don't know. I just don't know. There are just some books that you cannot process, and this was one of them. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I need to reread this one again. Use all my brain power again. I will probably won't understand it again, but I will try it. I promise you. So yeah, I tried to make this short, but it's already been 40 fucking minutes. So I'm so sorry, but have you read any of these books? Please, if you have read Babel 17, make me a summary of it, please, or explain something to me, because I'm just like dumb, so I cannot understand. But yeah, just let me know down in the comments below, and oh my god, my voice, what's going on? That's going to be all for today, my guys. So I will see you in the next one. Bye!